Over the last few years, the housing market reached a fever pitch. Buyers were thrust into a brutal arena defined by blind bidding wars and sheer desperation, where sellers held nearly all the leverage. But the extreme conditions that stripped buyers of their power are beginning to dissolve, as the underlying data signals a turn in the tide. This gauge tracks housing inventory supply. The needle has crossed the 3-month threshold, the level required to return the market to equilibrium. Rising inventory means houses sit longer, diffusing the old urgency and handing buyers new control. This shift creates a vacuum where seller dominance used to be, and that vacuum is being filled by buyer leverage, granting you more time to think and a wider selection of properties to choose from. But possessing leverage is not the same as using it. To win in this new environment, buyers have to abandon the desperate tactics of the past and adopt a modern operational playbook. The old era of real estate was a physical marathon. It was defined by driving through neighborhoods for days on end and waiting weeks for a manual, opaque lending process to move forward. Today, technology has replaced that marathon with a digital sprint. AI-assisted discovery and broker-led video tours allow you to vet properties and neighborhoods thoroughly before you ever step foot in a car. Even the path to funding has transitioned from a manual, confusing process into a transparent digital pipeline where every stage is tracked and mapped. This workflow moves you from your initial financial strategy session directly into digital credit profiling and final underwriting. It is a highly visible sequence designed for speed and clarity. But speed only matters if you are applying for the right product. A streamlined digital application is useless if it leads you directly into a financial trap. This is where many buyers surrender their leverage. They walk into what we call the traditional bank trap. Standard banks operate on rigid parameters, meaning your profile must fit their specific box. With only their in-house products, there is zero competition. You get one isolated menu, and the bank will never shop your profile to competitors. If your profile deviates even slightly from their internal criteria, you face a stark choice: an outright denial or being forced into an expensive, subpar loan program. Relying on a single bank effectively neutralizes your market leverage by forcing you to accept whatever terms they choose to offer. To maintain your advantage, you have to move away from individual institutions and partner with an independent mortgage broker. Brokers don't lend the money themselves. Instead, they act as your dedicated financial advocate, essentially a personal shopper with access to the entire lending market. This diagram shows the structural difference. The broker sits at the center of a vast network, connecting your profile to dozens of lenders simultaneously. By actively shopping your profile, brokers create genuine market leverage, forcing massive institutions to actively compete for your business. This competition typically results in significantly lower rates for the buyer and can salvage deals for buyers who were previously turned down by the rigid criteria of a traditional bank. As this diagnostic comparison shows, partnering with a broker shifts you from a restricted internal menu to unrestricted access to the entire lending market. Before you enter the market, you must clear a final tactical checklist to ensure all 3 pillars are in place. First, market status. Verify inventory is balanced and selection leverage is secured. Second, tech status. Ensure pipelines are fully digitized. Third, financing status. Confirm you have a broker ready. The modern ecosystem is built for the buyer to win. Initiate the process today.